I mean, history is all around you. Welcome to R&D Travel, where we talk about all things travel. Please like and subscribe to our channel to learn more about travel and to check out some bucket list travel destinations that we have already gone on and look forward to going in the future. The magazine Travel and Leisure listed Italy as the #1 destination to visit in 2022. It was also our first country to visit after dealing with COVID restrictions for 2 years. Going to Rome can be a very expensive adventure with a flight, the hotel costs, and everything else to see and do in Italy. However, don't let your budget prevent you from seeing this iconic city, because you can do Rome on a limited budget once you have your flight set. In this video, we are going to share with you how to see Rome on a budget, whether it is with lodging, getting around, touring, or eating meals. We will just touch on touring in this video, and we will get a little more in depth on the next one. One way to lower your lodging expenses is to stay at an Airbnb or a VRBO. In searching for a place to stay, our son Phillips found this place on Airbnb. This was the only place that was less than 100 euros per night, and the host was recognized as a superhost on Airbnb. The owner of the condo used to live in this place, so you had the feeling that you were really living with the locals. The condo was an older building, as to be expected, but it was in a great location. It was only about 4 blocks from the Vatican. We paid approximately $84 per night, which was a great deal for 10 nights. Now with that price, there were a couple catches that came with it, but it was worth it in the end because all we needed was a place to sleep at night. Being an older building, electricity was a bit of a challenge. You could only keep 2 rooms lit at any one time. We only had one time that we had too much power going and the breaker kicked out. I simply turned out one light switch and turned the breaker back on and never had another problem. One other thing to adjust to was the air conditioning. There was air conditioning in 2 rooms, and it wasn't like back at home where you had a constant temperature of 72 degrees. No, it could be 72 degrees in one spot of the room and a little bit warmer in another spot. However, it was manageable. The owner, Clementina, was great to work with the entire time. She arranged a driver to pick us up at the airport. Now, we had to pay the driver, but it was better off trying to manage the metro or getting a cab on our own. Well, it was a lovely place to stay, and Clementina was awesome. Getting around in Rome can be quite reasonable on a budget. Obviously, you can get to many places by just walking. We stayed about 4 blocks from the Vatican, and along the way there and back we had restaurants, shops, grocery stores, and even a fresh market. In addition to walking, you can easily stay on a tight budget and get around with mass transit. For 19 euros or about $20 US, you can get a mass transit ticket that you can use on a bus or a subway for 72 hours. If you know that you want to see a lot of sights over a 72-hour period, then that ticket is a steal. You really need to think about how much traveling that you will be doing to determine whether you are better off getting a one-ride pass, one-day pass, 48-hour pass, or a 72-hour pass. On the day that we arrived, we only bought a one-day pass for 7 euros because we knew that we were going to Florence the next day. Between walking and a one-day subway pass, we were able to see everything from the Piazza del Popolo, the Spanish Steps, the Trevi Fountain, the Pantheon, and even to our restaurant for dinner. We also had time left on the pass the next morning to get to the train station where we would be heading to Florence. One thing to keep in mind with transportation is that there are sometimes strikes that take place. The one nice thing is that they will advertise the strike so that you can make other arrangements for transportation. When we were there, the taxis went on strike for 2 days. It wasn't too bad, except we had one excursion that we made out of the city and returned after 9 p.m. and the subway we normally would use was under repair beginning in the early evening. We could have used the bus system, but we decided to walk from the main train station back home and even get to see a little bit of Rome at night. Or may I say a lot of Rome at night. There is so much that you can see in Rome without even paying a dime. Between walking and a metro pass, you can see and experience the Rome that we all have seen at the movies, on the television, internet, or learned in school. You can visit a part of the Vatican or have a picnic and people watch in one of the city's 2,000 piazzas. You can walk around the outside of the Colosseum and visualize the gladiators that fought amongst these walls, or stroll next to the Imperial Fora and imagine all the emperors and senators that stood in these very places. Anywhere you go, you see where Roman history took place. Even our condo was on a street called Via Triumphal, which was formerly called Via Triumphalis, after Marcus Furius Camillus, known as the second founder of Rome, was granted a Roman triumph after his victory at Veii in the year 396 BC. Roman triumphs, which are simply victory parades, were civil ceremonies and religious rites of ancient Rome. I mean, history is all around you. If you are lucky enough to be in Rome on the first Sunday of each month, many places like the Colosseum are open to the public without a ticket. Below in the show notes, I provide you a website that you can check out to find out more about the free first Sunday of each month. One benefit to walking and getting around town is that you don't need to buy anything if you are thirsty. On every block you can find a water fountain or a Nasoni, which stands for big noses, and the water is delicious. You can find these water fountains throughout Italy in every city. Don't waste your money buying bottled water. Just take that bottle you already have with you everywhere you go, and you can fill it up until you need to fill it up again. You can also use the Nasoni di Roma app on your phone or on the website that I will put below in the show notes. You can even eat well on a budget while you're in Rome. Obviously, if you're in an Airbnb, then you can take advantage of the kitchen and cook your own food. You can easily find grocery stores within a 4 to 5 block range from where you're staying, and there are even many more convenience stores beyond that for simple things. There are also over 100 farmers markets throughout Rome, which makes it easy to get fresh food on a daily basis. Another thing that you can find easily in Rome is reasonably priced street food. In fact, Rome is considered one of the best cities in the world for street food. You can find traditional Italian dishes such as pizza by the slice, or soupli, which is a deep fried rice ball filled with ragu and mozzarella, or even trapezzino, which is a triangular pocket of cooked pizza dough filled with ingredients such as meatballs, Roman oxtail stew, or artichokes. And if you really want to go out to a restaurant, then the best time to do so when you're on a budget is to go at the happy hour time. There are many restaurants that serve up free food called aperitivo, where as long as you are ordering cocktails, they will bring you samples of different foods at no cost to your table. You can simply do some research on the internet to find the best aperitivos in your area or in Rome in general. So, with these budget tips, you should begin to plan for the bucket list trip to Rome, knowing that you have the skills to do so without breaking the bank. Do yourself a favor and begin traveling beyond your comfort zone to better understand the people, culture, food, and customs other than our own. Once you do this, you can start to see the world differently, and for the better, I might say. If you're interested in going to Rome or any other type of travel, sign up for the free destination planning session, which I have in the show notes below. I know that there has to be a lot of you that have additional budget tips in Rome that you can add, so please add them in the comments below. Hit the like button and subscribe, and we'll see you again soon.